Hey guys, welcome to Frank's Handyman. Today we're going to be working on two projects in this house. As you can see here, we're going to be removing this floor in this bathroom. And then on this bathroom, we're going to be removing this wall as well. And we're going to be putting in a new one. Right now, we were just looking at what we're going to focus on. And as well, right here on the bottom of the door, this part fell off and the water's coming out from the bottom. So we're also going to have to re-glue it to the door. And we're not able to nail it through, so we're gonna have to really make sure we're able to find something to glue it on. Before we start any job, we always gotta make sure that the house that we're working in stays clean, so we always put this paper down throughout the hallways. That way, since we know we're gonna be coming in and out, it stays clean. And once we set it down, we just start making the measurements as far as to what we're gonna need and how big they're gonna need to be. Once we set up everything and put down all the paper on the ground to walk around, we started off by taking off the shower door. And all he had to do was unscrew the screws that were screwed on. And then we also had to take up the piece that the door was connected to. Once he took out the pieces, he just went over with a blade and removed the old caulking around. Just that way it's smooth, and when we add the new one, it's a lot better. And it also helps to remove the old wall that was there. So what he has to do is also unscrew everything that goes with the shower head. Once we took everything out, now we started the process of removing the wall. And once the wall was removed, we started out by cleaning out all the little small pieces, as well as scraping the wall, making sure everything is going to be smooth for once we set out the new one, because we're going to use liquid metal, so it has to be able to stick. Once he finished smoothing up the surface of the wall, now he started preparing the mixture that's going to go on the wall. And then he started setting it all in. Once he set it down, now we started moving in all the wall sheets that we're going to put on. And right now they're just looking at things and kind of seeing how the measurements are going to go. Once they measured and they got the outlines, then now they started also marking where they're going to cut. And they started doing also the cutting process at this point. Now that they got the cuts, they're able to start putting them on. And they're gonna start using as well, like I said, liquid nail, and it's gonna go in the back as you see here. That way this will make sure that it sticks really, really well. While the guys focused on the shower, our other colleague was focusing on removing the floor. As you can see here, he started out by taking out the nails. And before we also put a piece on this side, we had to take out the shower head. Aside from using the liquid nail, they were also using these strips that you stick to the panel, and it will stick also to the wall. It goes both ways. For this part, it was a lot of repeat of the same steps that we were doing before we started actually connecting the panels to the wall. As he started putting the walls, but they were also adding caulking, that way it fills in those cracks. And then this is our other colleague already took out the whole floor in the other bathroom, as you can see here. And now he's also going to start just making the cuts that will be going around the toilet and also the sink and the vent. As you can see, things are progressing pretty well. In the shower, all they need is one last part on the left side. Right now what he's doing is just cleaning out the old caulking and then also hitting it with this little rubber hammer. That way it stays and it gets stuck to the wall. And then we're adding a little bit more caulking on the outside. As you can see here, it fills in that gap. And now he's preparing in to put the last panel here. Before they set down the panel, they wanted to make sure that the door was able to close. And it took a little bit of tries, but once we put everything together, it ended up closing perfectly. And while they do that, our colleague, as you can see now, is starting to do the cutting. It's going around the sink and around the toilet. And like I mentioned, they got the door to close. They just needed to make a little bit of an adjustment at the very, very bottom. But once they did, they just got it correctly, and then they screwed everything in. He just had to make sure it was level. Now that the issue with the door was fixed, and now we focused on the last piece that we had to put, and like I said, we used liquid nail, so that's what he's putting it on there. We had to be really careful in this area. We had to make sure to fit, otherwise we would have to make another cut. But it came out perfectly. They just had to clean out a little bit of extra caulking in the bottom. And right here's where the shower head's gonna go, so he's just making the hole a little bit bigger. And now we're focusing on the bottom part of the door where it was an opening. And now as you see in the other bathroom though, we already made a lot of progress. Now he was just making sure that it was gonna fit the shower head, and it did. And we made all the cuts perfectly around the parts that were gonna be an issue. And everything worked out perfectly. Now it's just about putting the pieces that were connecting the door back in there. And like we mentioned, they had it shut down perfectly, so it took a little bit of tries. But once he got this done, this was the last part of it, and as you can see, it looks really nice. We're going to be looking at some of the other bathroom outcome, and you see as well, it also came out pretty nice. And these are all the befores and the afters as well. And as you can see, it was a big progress. It looks a lot newer, and we're going to be doing a bunch of new projects as well today, so just keep in tune. Keep watching our videos if you like watching stuff like this, and see you next time.